Okay, guys, we took the what we call the darts right here. A lot of people say that's a spear. That's not a spear. When it comes to an atlatl, you call that a dart, D-A-R-T, dart. These are 7 feet long. You can get them like 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 feet long. The ones that are like 7, 8 foot long are generally used for like hunting. And right here is the atlatl, which is the throwing stick itself, and that's called the hunter Catatonk. The gentleman at Thunderbird Atlatl that makes all this stuff, he makes maybe about 12, I'm not sure exactly, maybe about 12 different types of atlatl designs. And makes these darts, some of them out of ashwood, some of them out of pine, some of them out of like Florida cane, some out of bamboo. You can make them out of a lot of different things. And they have a little wood factory there too, where they take the wood and then they make out these darts. And the darts at the bottom are beveled down to a point. And the reason, now there's 3 darts there, and they're not finished because that's the way I wanted them. And here's the points to them right here. These are field points, like on a regular arrow, but these are hollow right here. You use that real hard glue that we use in bow and arrows and stuff like that, that you put on the knot with, and just heat it up with like a small propane torch and the glue and stuff, and just kind of screw that on the end. Now, since this is a kit form, I'm going to stain these darts right here, these 7-foot darts, and I'm going to stain the atlatl, which is down here, and I'll show you that. At the top of it, the dart itself, it's got a bevel about a quarter inch or so deep in the top of it, because it fits on the point of the atlatl, which allows it to stay in place when you throw the dart itself. Now at the very top of it too, we have feathers that we put on that for fletching. Now I have some other feathers that are white, pretty feathers, and the feathers help stabilize it a little bit. Now some people throw them without feathers, but for a lot of people, they like the feathers to help stabilize the dart a little bit. It does not cause the dart to spin around in a circle like an arrow from a bow. It doesn't spin like that. The dart itself, it flexes back and forth as you throw it, and that's kind of what makes it more accurate. But it's not going to rotate in a circle like an arrow. And so since this is a kit form, it costs you about half the price of one that's already finished. Now, the price of the atlatl and these 3 darts and the feathers that came with them, and the spear points, those field arrow type points I showed you, all of that is like $80 for the atlatl, the darts, the feathers, the points, and $20 shipping and handling, which you can probably see $20 is probably about right for something this big, 7 foot tall, a little over 7 feet tall on the box. I want you to see this right here. It says Thunderbird Atlatl at the top here, and right here you can see you've got all kind of atlatls at the top up here that they make, a bunch of different types and so forth, and colors, and you can kind of trick them out the way you want to. This wrapping right here is kind of artificial sinew and stuff like that, which I have plenty of that, and kids playing with them. I mean, 7 or 8 year olds can throw an Atlatl. And this right here is the one I've got right here. It's the Catatonk Hunter, and I'll show you how that works. And you see different fletchings on the arrows here. And this is a really nice one right here. It's a Hunter Model 2, and that's a deer horn on the end right there, point. And these are weight stones right here. They give the Atlatl a little bit of weight. You put it right in here, generally on the bottom, and it's supposed to make it quieter, plus maybe give you a little bit more in your throw. And here's some other styles of Atlatls here. These have like leather rings on them. You put your 2 fingers in them, and you throw them differently than you do one of these. The other ones, like this one, you throw like a hammer throw. And these right here, you throw like a baseball overhand. That can be helpful if you have problems with your wrist or use the hammer too long. But yeah, pretty different types of Atlatls and darts. And you can put spearheads on them too. You can make them any way you want to. But right here at the bottom, Thunderbird Atlatl.com. He's got plenty of videos, and he shows you how to put these kits together, what you have to do to put the feathers on the or the fletching on the dart itself, and how to put the point on the dart, and how to do the kit itself as far as the Atlatl on sanding that. He's got videos on how to sand that and how to get it just right and level that up perfectly. And a lot of videos, a lot of instructional stuff. And Thunderbird Atlatl is probably what I remember reading is that they're probably the #1 company in the world that sells Atlatls. So you got plenty of videos, and the prices are not bad. Again, $80 for this whole kit, $20 for shipping, which made it $100 even, which is really reasonable, you know, if you're getting into this. Now, you don't have to make a fancy Atlatl. You can just take a stick and make an Atlatl, but you do need the darts. That's one thing that, you know, you can make those yourself, use bamboo too. So there are other ways you can do this, but I wanted this particular set right here is the Hunter version on the Catatonk. And I'll show you the Atlatl itself. Okay, this is the Hunter Catatonk. The regular Catatonk looks similar, but it doesn't have this ridge quite as high. It's a lot shorter. And the back end of it here, now, since this is a kit, this piece right here will have to be glued in, and that's just wood. And that's a significant piece right there. Can't throw it without it. You might be able to see it. It looks, it's not high polished or anything like that. I just threw it, the blank dart, and just like it is right out of the box, it threw, I threw it about 43 yards, and that's just playing around with it. But that's without a point, without fletching. So it comes with sandpaper, different grades of sandpaper, and so with the sandpaper you can smooth out all of this right here, and you want this part right here to match up with this part right here, okay? And it should be in a straight line from here to here, should be level, and it should hit your point right here. Now I'll show you, this is what it looks like underneath. What makes this really nice on the Hunter model, I'll show you. This is the point right here, and that's where your field arrow tip goes on. Use that hard glue like we use with the arrows. And so but at the back end of this right here, of this dart, so you can find this here, get that in focus. The back end right here is bored out right here, and the back of your atlatl here, this point fits right in here. Okay, so it should stay right in there. All right. Okay, we put our dart on here, and it should be level across its front. And this groove here should hold this in right here, and it should be level all the way across until you get to the point right here. The point should be right here. And actually, this one is pretty much right on. There's not much I have to do to this one as far as, you know, getting it level. Need to sand it out a little bit, make it look a little nicer, I guess. But the point is about the right size. So as far as being the right angle, but it looks pretty level right here. We could modify this point a little bit at the base of it, make it a little bit shorter, so the dart right here will rest on top of the wood right here. There's a little gap right there, but otherwise it works well. The thing about the hunter model, now this is where you grab it at right here, and you got your finger up here holding the dart on it. And so what happens is that when you throw and you grab your next dart and you put your dart on here, you should be able to just throw your dart on here like this right here and hold it and just slide it all the way back, and it should hit the point. Now I just slid that back and it hits the point pretty good right there. So that's what you're aiming for. That way you can kind of reload real quick for your second dart. And that's what makes the Catatonk Hunter very desirable, because you only have to line up this point here and this point here by laying your dart there, and just slide it back and it automatically goes into the point, and you're ready to throw. So this is the way you would hold that. Now I can tell just from throwing it at one time with no fletching, nothing on it. Again, it went out like 43 yards. This part right here is too smooth. So when I'm gonna take a Dremel tool too, and I'm gonna make this a little bit more, probably do something to make that a little bit, make a better grip on this right here, as far as putting some, maybe some lines in here or something like that. That way it won't twist in my hand, because you don't want it twisting. And I can tell it twisted a little bit when I first threw it because it's so smooth, but I mean it's unfinished, so that's the reason for that. So I have an idea in my mind what color stain I'm going to use on this once I finish it up. I'm going to tweak it out a little bit, kind of make it your own, you know, and that's kind of the beauty of having anything like this, especially in a kit form. That's why I like kits. And I'm going to do some work and painting probably on these arrows right here too when I stain them, and you can take a torch and you can make designs on them and stuff like that too, and then you can paint them and just kind of make it your own. We'll see how it works out, guys. But these go back 40,000 years ago. Not this design, but similar ones. Some were made out of ivory. Some were made out of the bones of animals, like leg bones, stuff like that. I mean, they're just all kinds of different styles. Atlatls have been found everywhere in the world. As well, we'll say the darts have been found everywhere in the world except Antarctica, according to history. So they've been around for a long, long time. We'll talk more about why the Atlatl was invented. Okay, guys, just want to show you what it looks like before I start working on it. I'm going to make this a little bit more prominent here, and maybe right here, and do something right here, something here, and make it a little bit more prominent right here, and cut off this back just a little bit neater looking. And this again is all the fun of doing your own. And these risers right here, and I have to do something on the handle right here. This is fairly ergonomical right here when you grip this like this right here, but it has a tendency, your fingers up here to hold the dart, but it has a tendency to want to slide a little bit because it's unfinished and it's smooth. So I'm going to put something in here, maybe probably the artificial sinew can wrap through here to make the grip easier, so it doesn't spin in your hand or slide at all, especially if your hand's sweaty or something like that. But really beautiful design here. So I'm really stoked about it. But with these right here, you take a propane torch and you can put a flame on this right here, and it'll turn dark. So you can have a dark spot here and a dark spot here and a dark spot here. And sand that off and then stain it and then paint whatever you want to on it. Okay, guys. We've got a Dremel tool here. We got an Atlatl, and just going to smooth this up a little bit on some parts of it with a Dremel. And then I've got my sandpaper here. There's 3 different grits. This is fine, medium, this is coarse. And see what we can do with her. Okay, guys, I think I'm through with it now as far as sanding it down with the sandpaper too, the coarse, medium, and fine sandpaper. And I've notched it out pretty much of what I want to do with it. And I'll show you what I've done so far. Yeah, this is really probably all I'm going to do to it. I think I may add a couple of things to it, but I cut these notches in here for so you can hold it more stable. And I got notches cut on the other side too. This is mainly for a right-handed person. These notches here, this would be for a left-handed person. So these are ambidextrous. I hollowed this out right here on it, and that's a pretty wood grain. And worked on this just a little bit. I hollowed that out, and I put some notches in it. And that's just kind of for looks and stuff like that, for tribal stuff. I got a notch cut through here on both sides, and kind of how it looks there. On the other side here, this thing is smooth as the baby's behind. I notched this, well, I notched it out here on the bottom right here, and hollowed this out right here on both sides. So you see that grain coming through there, really pretty. This is ash wood too, so it's not hard to sand these right here, but I'll tell you, this right here was a little bit of work hollowing this out right here. That's a pretty wood grain though, isn't it? And like I said, just notching it out and trying to figure out how I wanted to do it. But it twisted my hand when I first threw it, and I mean, so that's why I put these notches in here on both sides for right-handed or left-handed person, ambidextrous. And again, that's just for looks. And so it's taking shape there. And this is your spur right here. This is what holds your dart. The spur just slides in here like that. Now you use Elmer's glue to glue that in, but you got to make sure it's at the right height. Because remember, when you lay your dart across here, it should lay right here and here, and you just slide it, and it should hit that knot, that spur perfectly. Okay, this is our propane torch right here. You buy these for about $16. They're pretty cheap. So let me try to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Okay, guys. I use a torch on it and try to do kind of a spiral, you know, like a candy cane a little bit on this. And this is kind of how it came out. So you do that, and then you take some coarse wool right here, and then you sand it down to get any of this burnt wood off of it. It's not burnt, but I mean it's enough so it should give it a little bit of a color to it. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I sand it down with this coarse wool right here. It looks a little better to me. It looks like a ghost dark color there. Now it's kind of really dark. But it got pretty grain in here. I was just thinking about what I was going to stain it with again. Because I wanted to put the stain on there, and that would cover in this white part right here too. Hopefully that would give it a better color. But that's kind of the way it looks right now. Okay, guys. I'm pretty much through with this. I was going to stain it with a kind of a reddish color, and then I decided after using the propane torch and the dark color, I said, well, maybe the oak would look better. So I used an oak stain on this ash, and ash would absorb stain real well. So, okay, guys, this is our finished product here with the Atlatl, and I went ahead and stained the dart with the same stain that I used on the Atlatl, and I put feathers on the Atlatl, and I used artificial sinew to hold those feathers on. And this is a 7-foot dart right here. And using a little propane torch there, you just stick the flame to the wood right here and rotate it, and you get these burnt marks right here on that wood. Same thing that we did with the Atlatl here. And on the Atlatl, recessed it here. Put finger grooves here on both sides for right-handed or left-handed person, and I put a groove right through here, and I put notches on the end of it right here too. You can see the other side's pretty much identical. Got a groove there too, and also in this case right here, I took artificial sinew and made a kind of X pattern on the shaft of it. And then the back end here, remember we had, I recessed it here on both sides. And this is our spur right here. And this sinew just ties around that to kind of anchor it. And I had notches in here on the bottom right here. A little hard to see there maybe. And These are one of these feathers here. You can color these feathers any kind of color you want to. You can get them different colors. And then these feathers here on this dart. Let me see where the sinews are wound around there. And this back end right here goes into the spur. Now here's the feel point right here that I put on it. Get that in focus. But I use this hard glue for that, and you just heat up that glue and put it on the end of the shaft, and heat up this right here too a little bit, make sure there's no moisture in it, and then slide that on. And I'll put a video link on how to do your shafts and all, how to put the points on, how to put the feathers on, and stuff like that. Give you some idea on the Atlatl. But I think it turned out pretty good for what I wanted anyway. And I'll put the link too for the Atlatls from Thunderbird. Atlatl with Bob Berg, B-E-R-G, who owns that company. And you can buy all different types of Atlatls from him. And you can buy your darts and your points and your feathers too from him. Okay guys, we got our Atlatl here. You can see where the end goes into the spur right there. And I need a little bit of a counterweight on it, I think. Let's see if we can video this. Almost dead center. You almost got dead center. Now these things will penetrate too. If you, I've seen what take a, this is a 7-foot dart, which is a hunting dart, which makes it a heavier dart. But I've seen you take a 50-pound bow and an arrow and shoot it into a target, and then you can take a dart like this right here and throw it with an Atlatl, and you'll get almost double the penetration with a dart, 7-foot dart, because it's, if you compare this to an arrow, this has got so much more weight behind it, mass times velocity and energy and all that to create deeper penetration. And they have thrown these darts through buffalo from say the right side of the chest through the left side of the chest. Okay, we got our Atlatl here, and this is, use one finger right here. You can use your hand different ways, whatever's comfortable to you. This right here is more comfortable to me, and so it goes up here, and it goes into a spur, as it's called right there. What we can do with the Atlatl. It's not a bad throw there, is it? See how it wobbles? You can kind of see put these rings kind of close together when I burned it. And these are about close to the same distance apart here. Like 3 rings here. And the center is right here, so that's not bad, I guess. We can get this on video. That was a longer throw. I was throwing it this one here. I threw a little high to the right. The dart is flying like it's supposed to, so that's the good thing. Okay, we're going to throw for this top target up here. If we can do this, hold this camera. Ooh. That's kind of a long throw there. And actually, I like it because it's dead center. Dead center as far as vertical. And you work on vertical, and once you get vertical, then you come back here, and then you just have to work on your speed a little bit, got your angle down, and then you can hit dead center. Which that would be about dead center right there, which I'm about, how far off am I? About a hand's width from dead center. And that point went all the way in. That's a long arrow, isn't it? I mean dart, that's a dart. I'm gonna call it an arrow because it's got fletching on it. But that is long. But yeah, so you can see that's perfectly vertical at the target. Couldn't ask for any better than that. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Gary J.